This next topic is one that, given the choice, I'd really rather avoid it. But some things have to be said even if they're difficult. A lie never benefits anyone, and so I'm just going to say this. I'm talking today about agency-qualified pistol shooters. By agency, I mean law enforcement, military, etc. And before I jump into this, I want to preface my statements by saying that the comments that I'm going to be making about this group of shooters does not apply to all of them. There are many who are very skilled in the things that they do, and so I don't want to take away from them. But as a group, let me give you one example. Just recently, a young patrol officer shot one of our DallyPost tactical challenges. Now, the challenge he shot was our easiest, our slowest tactical challenge. That means he was shooting from roughly 10 yards. He was shooting a target that was making moves back and forth, and it was moving roughly at the speed that a man walks, maybe a little bit faster on some of those moves. And between each move, it was pausing from 6 to 8 seconds. So there was lots of time when you just had a simple 10-yard shot at a static target. Now, this target doesn't represent the average law enforcement officer, but it perfectly illustrates my point. Now, this person was a new patrol officer. He recently got out of the Army, so he has law enforcement training, he has Army training, and to his credit, I will say he was in the process of transitioning from the military Beretta to the duty Glock. But here's the deal. Slow target, most of the time the target sitting still, 10 yards. He shot 15 rounds, and his results were these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rounds hit paper. Where'd the other 8 go? I don't know. There's a thousand things I could say about this, but the truth is, this tells its own story. Half the rounds on paper only, no A-zone hits, no B-zone hits, 1 C-zone hit. Everything else is just out there somewhere. So let's talk about agency training and what it is and what it isn't. I'm basing my comments on those things that I have observed, and I know that not all agencies are the same. I know that there are variances from state to state and city to city and military group to military group. But here are my experiences. First of all, I joined the military right after the Vietnam War. And while I was there, I qualified in the M16, the M60. I qualified as a helicopter door gunner, and because I was air crew, I also qualified with the .38 revolver. I later transferred over to the Air Force as a flyer, and again qualified with the .38 revolver. And every one of those qualifications, without fail, really wasn't a qualification, but instead it was like a weapons familiarization. They showed us where the buttons were. We shot a few rounds. We couldn't hit much, but we pushed our rounds downrange and they qualified us. Now, my second experience is that I have actually witnessed law enforcement qualifications for several different agencies. I have found all of them to be very basic. In fact, generally speaking, our level 1 basic qualifications are as tough, or maybe even tougher, than annual law enforcement qualifications that I have witnessed. And then finally, we have had people, military trained, law enforcement trained, pistol shooters who have come out and shot DallyPost tactical challenges. And the simple, sad truth is, as a group, again, I'm not talking about each individual, but as a group, their average proficiency is lower than the average proficiency of our civilian shooters. This is a difficult thing to say, but it is what it is. So, do I care if a law enforcement officer can shoot? Nah, not a lot. The reason being is if something happens that I find myself in a situation where I have to use my firearm, where I'm in a gunfight, it's going to be over before someone can call and make the 911 report. I know this because we left our home and our business and moved away from Washington State because we found ourselves in the sights of a Tacoma gang. Violence, yes. Lethal force, yes. Guns, yes. Home invasions, yes. I have experienced those things, and like I said, they were over before the police officers ever arrived. So the truth is, whatever fight I'm going to be in, I will probably be in it alone, so it's up to me to make sure that I'm proficient with my weapon systems. But if you choose to be in the military, to be a law enforcement officer or some other similar type of profession, you significantly increase the odds that you will experience things similar to what I did. That you will have to stand your ground and fight using your weapon. And so you have this, in my mind, you should have this enormous desire to be very, very proficient in the use of that weapon. So what are your options? First of all, the best option would be that your agency purchases a DallyPost tactical target and then puts into play a training program similar to ours so that you will have an opportunity to train where the training actually relates to a gunfight. The targeting system is not inexpensive. Some agencies can't afford it. A next step would be for $50 or $60 a year per officer. A law enforcement agency could send their troops out to shoot DallyPost tactical challenges. And based on the qualification exercises that I have witnessed, they will get much more training and much more real-world experience at a DallyPost challenge than they will from years and years and years of law enforcement qualifications. That's $50, $60 a year per officer. Very affordable. In this economy, that may not even be very affordable. It may not be something that the agency can do. So what about you, the soldier, the sailor, the law enforcement officer? What about your own responsibilities to yourself, to those people that you protect, and probably most of all to your family? For $50, $60 a year max, you could come out 2-3 times and you can have a shooting experience that will relate to what you will face if you have to draw your weapon and use it in the course of your duties. It just makes sense to me. I hope it does to you.